Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I understand how laxatives work.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Oh god, Rem, sometimes my job is hard.
Is it though? Hold up. Like, I know you're about to. This is how you frame the episode and you give an intro.
Yeah.
But also, I just want to, like, stop for a moment. I want to interrupt from the get-go.
Okay.
Is it though? You watch anime, which you do already. And then you just choose which one to inflict upon me. Like,
Well, sometimes, Rem, I have to watch things that I don't want to watch.
oh no.
And sometimes, like, memes happen, and sometimes, like,
Wait, hold up.
I
Are
have
you-
to do
all right.
research.
All right, wait a minute. So, for those who don't know, I just did a pre-banter bit trying to coerce him into an inside joke thing. Did that work?
No, it didn't work, Rem. I was planning on doing it from the get-go today. Because I wanted the emails to stop.
All right, so for those who don't know, since Hunter x Hunter, in the Hunter x Hunter episode, at one point, a giant frog eats two of the main characters, but one of them has a laxative drink, so the frog throws up the kids. And my stance was, because it was laxatives, the frog should have shit out the kids. And I made a call in that episode for anybody to email or tweet at us recommendations of anime where a frog shits out some children. Or at least that a frog shits. And amazingly, we've gotten a solid handful of emails. I don't know what they've said. I mentioned this in the Patreon pre-banter, which is surprisingly relevant, as it turns out. I don't know if there's just one, like, main, oh yeah, this is, everyone knows, if you're looking for a frog shitting anime, this is the frog shitting anime to watch. Or if multiple people are like, all have their own independent frog shitting anime.
And by and large, Rem, there's only one that comes to mind, and they're not frogs, technically. And, like, look,
Are they frog-like?
they're amphibious, essentially.
Well, all right, I'll take what I can get.
And it's the closest fucking thing you're gonna get.
Are you telling me that frogs shitting out children is not a common anime trope?
No, it's not! I said that in the Hunter x Hunter episode!
How odd.
It is not a common thing!
I'm astounded.
Like, and weirdly, one of the recommendations we got was not an anime at all when you mentioned this. One of them was just book 2 of the Fablehaven series.
Okay, I was ready for you to be like, it was just a YouTube video of a frog taking a shit.
No,
which would have been
not
hilarious.
quite that. Not quite that base. It is literally there's a big frog that eats a kid in Fablehaven 2. Spoilers, but you know that book is that book is nearly like 15 years old.
Man, I was all into that series when I was young.
1000%.
All right, so what frog shitting anime are we covering this week?
Like, I had
Also,
an
I
intro
have to ask,
planned.
John. I have to ask real quick before we get into this.
Yeah.
A part of me hopes that this is an obscure anime, so that way there's not many people who are like, oh, I want to hear a review of this anime, and then they hear this, like 5-minute chat all about frog shitting at the front of it. A part of me wants that, but another part of me wants this to be like a ridiculously popular anime, so that exact thing happens a lot.
No. It's not ridiculously popular. No.
Damn.
Yeah, no. Let me put it to you this way, Rem. Before our Hunter x Hunter episode, we got 3 emails recommending this.
Oh, well, I'm happy to bring it to the world's attention. Speaking of, what the fuck is it?
Okay, so Rem, before we get into what this anime is, it's simply an anime titled Sarazanmai.
Okay.
If you want a translation, fuck
would.
you.
What? Excuse me?
Because there's not one.
What do you fucking mean there's not one?
Because it's, a Japanese term.
What does the term mean?
Ah, boy. As far as I can tell, it's literally it's a portmanteau of a characteristic of the main characters and Zanmai, which is like an indulgence, as it were.
Okay. What are they indulging in?
Well, the direct translation would be plate indulgence.
Plate indulgence.
So when I say there's not a translation,
God damn, I love my fine china. I shall never let anybody touch it, but I shall always buy more.
What? Speaking of which, can we talk about that for a second? Why is fancy plates that nobody can use such a popular thing?
Follow-up question, Shaun.
Yeah.
How many D&D miniatures do you have in your room right now that you've never used? Perhaps we have solved the riddle very quickly.
Hey Rem. There's a big difference here. The biggest difference is I intend to use them, but I have, friends who have very complex schedules that make it really, really hard to run D&D games.
And
I'm just waiting for the day.
And sometimes they'll be like, yeah, for like the fanciest dinners of all time, we can break out the fine china. That is common as well. And do those fancy dinners ever happen? Not usually. Does D&D ever happen? Anybody who plays D&D can tell you they don't.
You're gonna make me cry, man.
Everyone knows the main quality of playing D&D is not playing D&D. That's the fundamental truth of it.
God, it's like you're waggling one of my biggest passions in my face and then just grinding it into the muck and filth.
Hey man, I'm also passionate about tabletop role playing, and I would love for it to happen more. All right, I'm on the same side as you, but it's the losing side. Anyway, all right. So a story about a girl who really loves the fine china until a frog gets on the fine china, and then eats her and shits her out. Finn.
And this is why reviewing content and writing content are two very different things. But no, Rem, no, it has nothing to do with plates. Nothing to do with plates.
Do they have a? Oh, wait a minute. Is it going to be a flat-chested girl?
What? No.
Because in multiple anime, flat-chested girls have been compared to plates.
I mean, yes, plates, walls, boards, etc.
Because I'm thinking of a quality of them. Do they have a huge forehead?
Nope.
Fuck! What the fuck is the plate? Where's the plate coming from?
Well, if you'll let me speak, Rem, I will explain it.
Oh, but we all know I don't like letting you speak. Then you say things that are weeby and uncomfortable.
Ah, goodness. Hey, Rem, what do you know about Japanese folklore?
I know about yokai.
Okay. What kind of yokai?
You have the jumping umbrella. You have...
What is the jumping umbrella called, Remington? Out of curiosity, I want to see if you can get this.
Jump-brella. You have deal or no deal in the shitter.
Deal or no deal in the shitter. What? Fucking what?
It pops out of the toilet. It's make a choice. Red or blue.
Is this the Matrix? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, we've seen it before. It's red or blue, and the correct answer is not choose red or blue, because if you choose either, it's the wrong choice. I'm not crazy. It pops up in the shitter. We saw it on Ghost Stories or something.
Oh, God. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Rem, but, your description of it makes it sound like complete fucking insanity.
Lavatory Howie Mandel exists, that's all I'm saying, and it's a Japanese yokai.
Okay, so first of all, the jumping umbrella is the Kasa Obake.
Alright, yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, and the toilet deal or no deal, as you described it, is the Akamanto.
Wait. So, is there going to be a yokai frog?
Kind of.
I see where this is going already.
Do you know any other yokai, or is it just two very obscure ones?
The umbrella's not obscure.
It's not, but like it's not like most people's go-to when they think of a yokai. It's very much like if you're doing a story with yokai involved, the Kasa Obake is 9 times out of 10 the joke yokai. The jokai, if you will.
But what about Deal or No Deal in the Shitter? Is that what?
No, that's not a super common one, Rem. That like it's a thing and it's common, but not like nowhere anywhere near as common as like it's less common than the Kasa Obake. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
Then there's, I don't know this one's name. It's the like super iconic big red demon face one.
Big red demon face one.
It's got a big red demon face.
Okay, that's probably just a basic Oni or ogre
Sure, why
or
not?
demon. You know, it's that kind of combination. That's all you got?
I think so. Those are all the ones that immediately come to mind.
Okay, so you just don't know one of the most iconic ones. That's fine.
Oh shit.
So Rem, tell me, have you ever heard of a kappa before?
Oh wait, yeah. Yeah. So Kappa, on Twitch.tv.
Oh, the fun! Do not try to be hipping with the kids, Rem. Especially since you haven't joined us properly for a Twitch stream in months.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Ever since you traumatized me with hours and hours of Danganronpa, it's taken me a while to recover. But I know Kappa, obviously.
Then describe it for me, Rem.
Gladly, Shaun. As we all know.
Hands off the keyboard.
Shit.
No Googling, you son of a bitch.
As we all know, Kappa is what Shaun sees when he looks in the mirror. Aren't they they're like Murlocs or some shit, right?
You know what? I'll take it for now. That is probably the closest comparison that you're going to be able to get.
They're like fish people or something like that.
Kind
They're
of,
fishy?
yes.
They're fishy. They're watery?
Yes.
Are they frog people? Do they shit? Oh, this episode's fucked.
Oh yeah, 1000%, 1000%. Because I wasn't expecting you to do a very thematic pre-banter that perfectly ties into our episode.
I was ready.
Oh my god. Okay, so Remington, a kappa, otherwise known as a river child or a kawataro, is a amphibious yokai that lives in the waters of Japan, essentially.
Sure, all right.
And the two main things you gotta know about them, man, is there are three main things you gotta know about kappas. They love cucumbers.
Oh god, cucumbers? Ass. They're terrible.
Oh no, I agree completely. I hate them.
They have bad texture and just hardly any taste, but enough taste to always be noticeable and never blend with whatever they're in.
Exactly. Like they have to be shredded super thin, and you have to tell me they're
just don't include them.
Exactly. And the other thing is they love sumo wrestling.
What?
I mean, yeah, those are the two big things.
And then the third thing, of course, is that they hate carrots. That's what we've learned.
Anya is not a kappa. Trust me on that. And they are water monsters, essentially. The third thing that is the most important...
wait, Kappa, it's what, like, Koopas are based. They like Kappa, the Koopa, so they're like turtley fucks, right? They got like a turtle shell or something?
Not really, no. I mean, they've got turtle-like qualities, but not like Koopas, no.
But that's where Koopa comes from, right?
I'd have to double check that.
I'm a Google, because I feel like I'm right and being smart right now, and I want to show off that I'm smart. People say probably.
Also, apparently, the most popular relation is to a Korean dish, as well as it sounds like trupa, as in troopers.
I am just gonna say I nailed it, and we'll move on.
Sure thing, buddy. Sure thing. But they are amphibious fish, like river people that are kind of frog-like in a way. Got webbed feet, long stringy hair, and plates on their head that are regularly filled with water.
Okay, so our protagonist is a kappa?
Well, I'm getting to that. And the other thing that they are well known for is they are known for assaulting humans in water and stealing a thing that is called a shirikodama from them.
So like their soul?
Kind of. It is the easiest way to describe it, Rem, it is a mythical organ that theoretically contains a person's soul.
Oh no, it's the flux light.
Fluctlight, but yes.
Fluctlight. Ah, shit.
You almost got it. You're thinking of the
had a
flux
great
capacitor from Back to the Future.
I got so close to a great fucking joke.
You were there. You're right there. The goof was right there, Rem, but it wasn't quite there. No. So yes, Shirokodama is a mythical organ that theoretically is where the soul is, in folklore, and where it is kept, Rem, is in the anus.
Oh.
So kappas are known for grabbing people and ripping their souls out of their asses. So when I say there's not a frog shitting anime, Rem, I was being honest. Because everybody and their fucking mother came to me and said, well, hey, what about this Japanese yokai that rips souls out of butts? That's like a frog shitting. And yeah, sure, I guess it is. Why the fuck not? So to shut people up, this is an anime heavily about kappas. And a bit of a Japanese folklore lesson for you, Rem.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
This is your fault, Rem.
I don't even need to hear about the plot. Let's just fucking do this shit.
Even if I told you it was a pseudo-magical girl plot.
What the? I can't breathe.
Yeah, no.
Oh god. Okay.
So-
Holy shit.
So the plot of this anime, Rem, and I'm not going to get into too much detail because it's really something that you got to see for yourself, is it's about three boys. They get kappa powers,
Kappa powers.
and they're
What
going
are
to use their...
Kappa powers.
Look, man.
Long fingers.
Yes.
To reach deep into that ass.
And they are going to use their kappa powers to defeat an evil organization run by otters.
What are you talking about?
Rem, I can't explain anymore. You brought this upon yourself. I'm ending the emails here. We're watching this anime. You're watching 5 episodes of it, and that's that, and you're not getting any more explanation. So without further ado, let's go watch 2019's Sarazanmai.
Hell yeah.
They're butt balls. That's what they are.
All right, the great butt ball of desire.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after watching 5 whole episodes of the coming-of-age anime Sarazanmai. And, Rem?
Yep.
You asked for this. So really, this is on you.
I didn't know what I was asking for.
Clearly, you didn't, or
But
you probably wouldn't have asked for it, Rem. So why don't you tell us a bit about Sarazanmai? Tell us all about the frogs and the buttholes.
Sarazanmai is one of the most unique shows we've ever covered.
That is true, Rem. That is true. But unique in what ways? Why don't you go into exquisite, explicit detail?
All right.
And tell me if these are frogs or not, because quite frankly, I don't think so.
So we start out with a nice little monologue all about connections, which are like the very, very, very overt main theme of this show. They will not shut the fuck up about it.
Yes.
Which, you know, could have been a little bit more subtle. Like, you could have had this monologue and then I would have understood it afterwards, but we'll have more monologues all about the connections that we have. And we have like a dream sequence, and we learn that our main character, who I'm gonna note, we have 3 main characters.
Yeah.
I didn't catch their names in all of episode 1. They just, like, I'm sure they say it a couple times in episode 1, but not nearly enough.
No.
It took episode 2 and even episode 3 for one of them for me to be like, okay, these are their names. But nonetheless, our protagonist, who I'll shorten his name just to Kazu, nice and easy. Kazu talks about how he wants to protect.
You literally dropped 1 syllable off.
Hey man,
Kazuki is his full name. Kazuki.
I am a man of efficiency. All right.
It's not efficiency to change somebody's name.
if it is one less syllable.
Is that because the other two people have 2-syllable names?
It just feels like it should match. And I shall continue labeling him as Kazu. You're lucky this isn't a Pikachu scenario. So, Kazu wants to protect one of his connections. We see there's a big idol TV show where, I'll be honest, the entire point of the TV show, to our understanding, is that once a day, the idol will choose something for people to take selfies of. And that's the show.
Yeah.
That's it. Also, around this time we have the opening credits, right? And in the opening credits is where I first see the emo Kappa, which, oh my god, it fucked me up. There's just a full-on Hot Topic Kappa running around, and I lost my fucking mind. And we'll get introduced to them shortly, but man, seeing them in the intro, holy shit. So nonetheless, in fact, yeah, after talking about this, like, there's a weird secret relationship that Kazu has with someone. We don't know who, but it's some nature hidden, right? We cut to the emo kid, not a Kappa yet, an emo kid trying to break into a car. But the idol that we saw on TV, she takes a picture of it. I can't remember what the lucky selfie fortune was on this day, so I don't know why. Oh wait, no, it was boxes, which makes even less sense why they took a picture, because was there a box there?
Yeah,
I guess there had to have been.
Yeah, they were surrounded by a bunch of like discount Amazon boxes.
Yeah, and so the idol like gets the emo kid into frame as he's actively committing a crime, and he's like, hey, delete that fucking picture. And she's like, oh, whoopsie, and she runs away and he chases her, right?
Yeah.
He's on the chase. He loses her for a little bit, and instead he finds our protagonist, Kazu, praying to a golden Kappa statue.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah, of course.
I should note, this takes place in a world that's like reality, but is very Kappa focused. In fact, instead of Amazon, it's Kappazon.
Yes.
Very Kappa focused society here.
And I mean, all background characters are flat cutouts, so, you know, like...
Yeah. All that matters is our protagonists, some cops, the Kappas, and perverts.
Yes.
Those are the classifications. So he sees our protagonist praying to the Kappa, and he notices that the protagonist has the same phone as the idol. So he tries to kill Kazu. Emo tries to kill Kazu, and Emo, we later learn his name is Kuji. So Kazu and Kuji. Kuji tries to kill Kazu, but narrowly avoids it.
Interesting how you decided to go with his surname rather.
It's because that's what he's called by everyone except his brother.
All right, I know.
Only his brother
is it
calls
because
him
you
Toy.
you didn't want to call him Toy?
It feels weird. So Kuji, Kuji misses and instead knocks over the golden Kappa, which then shatters it, right? And stuff seems to be going awry. Oh no. And then Kazu wakes up or teleports to the classroom, and he's in school now, and he doesn't understand. And in that moment, Kuji happens to transfer into class, and both of them are like, wait a minute, it wasn't a dream, what's going on? And they can hear a bell. Both of them can hear a bell, and this bell is causing them to behave like Kappas. At one point, after a brief montage of them becoming like Kappas, the best friend character, who we've basically just met, but he's around, his name is Enta, which took me till episode 3 to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
But Enta, his Kappazon box flies away. And
Bezos
the characters
is at it again.
The characters are annoyed by this, but they're not surprised. Like, it's like, ah, shit, no, I need this box. But they're not like, what the fuck is going on? They were surprisingly nonchalant and casual about the entire ordeal. Kazu and Kuji, they follow the bell sound to where the statue used to be, and it's still there. It's broken, but then it starts to seep out gas before exploding, and we get a little kappa creature, a little white kappa named Kepi. And Kepi asks for help. Kepi needs their assistance. They call Kepi a frog, which pisses Kepi off. So Kepi does a shirikadama extraction.
And Rem, what is that? I think I explained it in part 1, but I want to hear it from your mouth.
Okay, you didn't explain all of it.
No.
Or at least how it's done in Sarazanmai.
No, of course not. Why would I tell you that?
Kepi eats the child. Then, as the child is inside of the kappa, he extracts from the child's butthole their shirikadama, and then shits them out in an amniotic sac in kappa form. And you know what? I get it. This is the anime I requested. Hey, I want to see a frog shitting out children. By God, this is the anime for it, let me tell you. Because they call him a frog, he's sort of a frog, and he shits out them kids.
Rem, I blocked this anime from my memory after watching the first episode back when it came out. I specifically forgot about it because I was like, this is a lot. I can't think of a good reason to ever show this to Rem, aside from just the fact that it's weird and disturbing. But hey, sometimes memes take you down pathways, Rem.
Oh, don't worry, Shaun. It gets weirder.
I know it does, Rem, because I had to do the research for the show after we got about 24 recommendations for this anime.
So now Kazu and Kuji are both little kappa versions of themselves, right? And the friend Enta simply happens to be here. He's around for some reason. And they're like, "Hey, Enta," but Enta can't see them. Before, Enta is given a mark so he can see them, and then as soon as he can see them, he's like, "That's a weird frog," and so he gets fucked up too, and he gets turned into a kappa. Now they're all kappas. At this moment, it wasn't just the one flying box. There's so many flying boxes. There's all sorts of flying boxes, all going in the same direction. And as we learn, that they are kappa zombies, which are neither kappa nor zombies that are doing it. They're evil ghost creatures that are carrying the boxes away. And they're doing it because, okay, all right, let me break this down for you.
Yeah, because, if you're just coming into this without having seen what the fuck's going on, Rem, people might be a bit confused. It's almost like I decided to only describe what the fuck a kappa is in the first part, so I didn't have to deal with any of this shit.
As we find out, the reason why all of these ghosts are bringing boxes to a certain location is to bring them to a very large ghost that is the ghost of a pervert who put boxes on his face and got naked and was sort of exhibitionist about it. Who, fitting the theme, I think, if I understand correctly, was murdered by the otter cops. Which I will explain next episode. I'll explain it in episode 2.
I hope you do, Rem, because...
To my understanding, the cycle goes... a pervert is killed by homoerotic otter cops. And I don't know if these are tethered together, but at the same time, the idol will choose a lucky item that just so happens to be relevant to the now dead pervert. The ghosts will then bring the lucky item to the large ghost of the dead pervert, where our 3 protagonists will be turned into a kappa through ass extraction, and they will confront the ghostly pervert. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
This happened. That's an accurate description.
Oh, it's 100% an accurate description. Rem, you nailed it. You nailed it.
All right. So what happens when they confront? Well, let's see as they confront the box pervert ghost, who this goes, it's a giant, right? It is a giant, it's like kaiju size, and it's bending over. They all bend over. That's important. We'll see why. And so the Kappa boys show up, and then, and I assure you, if you've not seen this anime, you will not predict the words that are about to come out of my mouth. The Kappa kids sing a musical number. They sing a musical number to enter into a scripted fight scene. And I say scripted because it will be 99% identical in every episode. So they enter the same scripted fight scene. The only thing that changes is who is the lead for a given song. So it's usually Kazu, but it could be Kuji or Enta, you know? And they swing together and they block the attacks. They get to the other side of the ghostly pervert and they launch themselves, because they're Kappas, remember, they launch themselves into the giant ghostly pervert's asshole. And they extract the source of its desires and perversions that are signified by a big orb labeled butt. The orb is just labeled butt.
Yeah.
It's not labeled desire. It's not labeled perversion, even though that's actually what it represents. It's labeled butt. And then they extract it out of the asshole. And this is where I think, frankly, little too much.
Go on, Rem. It's not that hard. Just tell me what happens.
All right, so when it's extract from their asshole, the ghostly pervert ruptures. They squirt out of their asshole a ton.
Yeah.
And then the Kappa kids, they do Sarazanmai, which it's like, do Sarazanmai, and they're like, what? It's like, just do it. And they're like, okay. And they all do some like JoJo poses, and there's a water cylinder that they're all sort of skating into. And as they're skating into, they transform into their normal forms, but they're completely naked. Which is interesting to note. Their Kappa forms have more clothes than their transformation. They lose clothes in this. So they're naked, JoJo posing. One of them will connect to Wi-Fi and leak out a deep, dark secret to the other boys. Which is, for some reason, a necessary part. Because connection. This is the only way we can connect in this world. And in this episode, Kazu's secret is given to the other boys. Namely, the idol we saw take a picture of Kuji as he was breaking into a car. It wasn't actually the idol. In fact, it was just Kazu dressing up as the idol. He cross-dresses as the idol, and he does it a lot. All right. They transform back to humans, where Enta, the friend, doesn't really give much of a shit. And we see that Kazu, his bond, and it's somehow related to his cross-dressing. We see a bond with what I thought was a little girl. As it turns out, it is not a little girl, it's a little boy, and it's not just any little boy, it is Kazu's brother. Then we end, there's always a post-credit scene, and these are very important. These are wildly important post-credit scenes, I want to make it clear, in every episode. We meet the Otter Cops, disappointed, but they extract desire, and they murdered a cat dude. They murdered a cat man, and that will lead into the next episode. So that's episode 1.
Yeah. And just one thing to explain to you, Rem. One of the reason that the Shirokodamas have the word butt on them, it's because shiri is the Japanese word. Like Shirokodama, shiri, butt, and dama, ball. It's the butt ball, Rem. That's what they are. They're butt balls.
Butt ball of desire.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So bad news. It took me this long to describe one episode. Good news is, and this is also true, every episode of Sarazanmai is at least 50% the exact same or nearly identical. That is not really much exaggeration, if it is exaggeration at all. I might be undershooting it.
No.
The general formula And what to be fair, there's one element of the formula that didn't happen in episode 1, right? That we'll get to. But the general formula is you have the kids doing their stuff, and then in a highly scripted sequence, they defeat off the ghosts, right? And each of those take about half of the episode apiece. Episode 2, Kepi, the Kappa that's turned them all into Kappas, but now they're back to humans, gives them a dish of hope. And the dish of hope can grant any wish. So Enta, the friend, is like a lifetime supply of cucumber rolls, you mean? And a giant cucumber roll just pops up and he's wasted his one wish that he could wish for literally anything. It's at this point that I should also know, all 3 of these characters are not good people.
No.
No,
of course not.
Here's the thing, though. I think the show thinks 2 of them are, and that one of them, with a little bit of work, will be. The show would be like, yeah, Kuji, he's like breaking into stuff, and he has a troubled backstory. He's an edgelord, but maybe he has like a good heart or whatever. Like, he's that archetype, right? But Kazu and Enta, they're not supposed to be assholes to the degree they are, but man, oh man, they are terrible people. Not even just flawed people, they are terrible. And we'll get into why as we go on. Anyway, we waste a wish. Then we briefly see Kazu's little brother, right? And Kazu hangs out with his brother, and there's a cat there as well. And I don't know I think they cleverly disguised this because it feels like a reveal later.
Mm-hmm.
But also I could just be negligent. Later on, at least I think it's revealed later on. It could literally be revealed in this scene. But I think it's later on. It's revealed that the little brother he has a wheelchair. He got hit by a car. He's apparently he's either often staying at a hospital. Yeah, I think that's it. He often has to visit a hospital, and he's in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll figure out why later. But they hang out with fat neighborhood cat. Love that fat neighborhood cat. Great cat. Then we cut to Kuji, the emo, straight up waterboarding a dude. No exaggeration. He's just waterboarding a guy in a bathtub. All right.
These things happen, Ram.
There was a random mix-up at Kapazon, so Enta got Kuji's gun in the mail. And let me talk about this gun for a moment.
Yeah, talk about the gun, because I wanted to bring up the gun, and I'm so glad that you did.
This gun is not from this show.
No.
This gun is from a different show. This gun, they added this. This was the last thing they added, and they Googled gun assets, and they just stuck on some gritty gun assets in this otherwise very normal looking show.
It is a 100% CG gun.
Which just does not feel appropriate anytime you see it.
No.
Because it's not even CG trying to be the same art style. It's CG for something else. It's CG for like a PlayStation 2, for like a Twisted Metal cutscene that happened at some point. Like, that's where they stole it from. So it doesn't look great, but it also just doesn't look like it belongs here. And meanwhile, Kuji got a package that was meant for Enta. Kuji is storing some drugs in cat food, right? Cat food bags.
Mm-hmm.
But then the neighborhood cat, this chubby fuck, he shows up and he steals what he thinks is cat food, and he's off. And so Kuji is running and chasing. As he's running and chasing the cat, he runs into the cross-dressing Kazu, because the special item is cats. So Kazu needs a picture with the cat, and Kuji needs to get his drugs back from the cat. So they're chasing it, but then the cat runs into an amusement park, and in the amusement park, only couples are allowed, and their verification system is that you always need to be holding hands. So Kuji and the cross-dressing Kazu need to hold hands the entire time, and they also are dressed as bees or birds of the bees. I don't really know. I'm losing the plot very quickly. They chase the cat. Meanwhile, Kepi grabs Enta because he needs assistance and he's pretty fucked up. It's not really relevant at all. But chase the cat. Then we finally get introduced to a bit that will also be a recurring bit in every single episode. This one, not similar, it will be identical in every episode. And that is the homoerotic otter cops. So,
Yes, do explain the homoerotic otter cops to me, please.
In every episode, there will be a meeting of the police where they're talking about a certain criminal that's died. That they say they'll investigate as a murder. And then these two guys, who I label as the otter cops, though if I'm being completely honest, I don't understand the relevance of the otter yet. There's some otter heart organization or something. I'm fucking lost. But they are gay lovers who then break out into song about how they have killed the Weeks pervert. And they've done so also by an extraction, but their extraction causes them to be a giant ghost, I guess?
Well, they're extracting out their desires, it's different.
But we extract the desires from the ghost at the end. So if they're extracting the desire from the pervert, why does the giant pervert ghost still have its desires up its asshole?
Look, Rem,
and so
you
think
can't fret over...
they're doing the same thing. So the kids, they're on the same side. It's just a 1-2 punch. The otter cops do it when they're alive, and then the Kappa kids do it when they become the zombie forms, right? But no, because the otter cops, it's building up. This seems to be the main overarching plot, I guess. They're working for people who they are disappointed when the Kappa kids stop the pervert ghosts. But aren't we all just extracting the desire? What's going on? And I don't know. I have no fucking idea. But every single episode, you're gonna get the same exact otter cop homoerotic song done in the exact same way, and there will be exactly 0 variation from it. Okay. So, the cats start flying because they're being taken by the zombies. So, we turn into Kappas. We get a Kappa cat song. We learn that this pervert was dumped by his girlfriend because his girlfriend wanted to care more for cats than to care for him, and therefore he decided he would become a cat. He becomes a furry, and so they hop into the furry asshole and extract it, and then Sarazanmai, and with this Sarazanmai, we see that Kazu, once again, it's another one of his secrets, where he stole the cat that we've been chasing around, and you'd think, all right, so he stole the cat from a home, right? From a loving home. They were dressing this cat up. They loved this cat. So super fucked up already. He didn't even adopt the cat. He turned it into a neighborhood cat. He just left it around. What the fuck?
Cats are a lot of responsibility, right?
Don't fucking steal one then from its loving home. So they're given another dish, but this one is just a silver dish, which they need 5 of. Also, something I forgot to mention that's somewhat important. Kazu, when he cross-dresses, it's not just for the fun of it, though maybe it's also for that. It's specifically to catfish his brother.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's a pretty important detail that you left out there,
Yeah, it's to catfish his younger paraplegic brother, to fool his brother into thinking that
You're getting characters mixed up, bud. The one with the paraplegic... Well, I might...
No, I got this fucking right. Don't you fucking try to correct me, you son of a bitch. Enta often spends time with the paraplegic brother.
Right,
but it's not Enta's brother.
That's right.
It's just a way for Enta to sort of spend time with Kazu. And the goal is to get this little brother to believe that they're contacting the idol. And you might think, why? Moving on, the post-credit scene then is we get a nice exhausted Kazu in cross-dressing as the idol, hanging out with the cat. Kazu falls asleep on a bench, and then Enta shows up, right? And sees Kazu, and then plants one on the sleeping Kazu, just kisses him. The problem is, Kazu ain't consenting. He's asleep. Don't do that. You're really creepy right now, Enta. That is a creep move right there, buddy. Look, I'm all for a nice little wholesome game romance blooming. That's not the way to do it. You're a little creep. You're a little creepy kid, and I don't support you. And we're gonna see more creepy actions in the next episode.
What, you mean the show that has, like, anal invasion every single episode, sometimes more than once, has, like, creepy undertones?
Look, but that's business. All right. That's creepy, but it's business. This, for Enta, that's all pleasure. And that, I strongly disagree with that. Right. All right, so episode 3. Kazu wakes up after the kiss, but he doesn't notice the kiss. Then, of course, the lucky fortune selfie for that day is kiss. But Kazu tries to do it with kisu. So he tries to do it with fish instead of a proper kiss, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get some exposition on Enta, and he's been crushing on Kazu for years. Kazu can't get any fish to sub in for an actual kiss, so he's like, ah, darn. Enta hangs out with the little brother randomly, and they chat about Kazu, and Kazu has just been sad lately, and he quit soccer, and he's just been really distant. Enta has a sister, and that sister is going on a date with a dude, but that date is late. Oh, what's going on? Enta has some fantasies about Kazu playing soccer again and stuff. And he goes back to the old spot, and there's some other kids playing soccer there, and he gets protective over it. He starts a fight. He gets his ass whooped. He has a fantasy of Kazu saving him, but it's actually Kuji. Then we get our otter song. This time we learn that Enta's sister's boyfriend, Kais, not to be confused with Kiss or Kisu, Kais, who sold Kisu, which is why Kazu couldn't pick up Kisu, was murdered by the otter cops because he would lead women to commit suicide via marriage fraud.
Huh.
We all on the same page, we all...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm keeping up, Rem.
So, insert otter song, right? Then we go to the Kappa fight / Kappa song, and they do their dealio. Then for this Sarazanmai, it's Enta's secret that gets revealed. And Enta's secret is that he is more creepy than we even thought before. So the secret is, he has a crush on Kazu, right? But he has apparently been, like, opening Kazu's locker, sniffing dirty jerseys, going to Kazu's desk, grabbing his, like, flute or recorder and blowing on it just to feel it, and creepily kissing when Kazu is asleep. Enta, you're a freak. If you're not careful, you're gonna be the next ghost, because this is not okay. Not acceptable, bud. Then they go back and Kazu is like, I don't mind at all. In fact, I reciprocate. And they're about to share a kiss, but actually it was another one of Enta's fantasies, and he's actually kissing Kepi, the Kappa. And so you're like, oh, what does Kazu actually think about all of this? We don't address it. We just don't talk about it, which feels like it should definitely be talked about, right? Like,
I mean, Rem,
you've
learned... only seen 5 episodes of this 11-episode anime.
You've just learned. Yeah, I've seen only half of it. You've just learned your best friend has had a crush on you for years and has been sort of a creep about it. And then you just never talk about it. Enta has a gift for Kazu, but it gets stolen by a rat. But then Enta gets the original soccer anklet from the little brother to give eventually to Kazu, and at this point we see that the little brother, it's finally the reveal, little brother is in a wheelchair. All right.
Are you gonna make it, Rem? Are you gonna make it through all 5 episodes? I'm worried.
I'm losing my mind. I'm losing. I will say, in this episode, the little post-credit scene, we see, I think it's in the post-credit scene, the otter cops are annoyed at the Kappa kids stopping whatever they're trying to do, and they call it utterly unacceptable. So there you go. Enjoy. Episode 4. Episode 4, the lucky item is Soba, and the idol is having a fan meet the next day. this episode's all about Kuji, the emo kid. He has a family soba shop. We get a really weird monologue all about how he learned that the weak will perish and the perish will be the ones who perish will be forgotten. And just it's really up its own ass. It doesn't matter. Kazu goes to Kuji and is like, hey, could you kidnap this like famous idol who's the most famous person in the world in this universe? Could you do that for me? And Kuji's like, what the fuck? And Kazu's like, well, yeah, because they're having a meetup tomorrow, and my little brother is going to meet the actual idol who he thinks he's been talking to for a while. And instead of being like, oh, I can't talk about like this conversation when we actually meet up or whatever, I don't want to play favorites or something like that, I have actually promised that I will say a secret phrase to him at the meetup. So I need you to kidnap the idol for me. Can you do that, bud? And Kuji is reluctant, but is like, I guess so, sure, why not? We learned that Kuji, his parents tragically died, and his brother got into some gang stuff, and the gang eventually decided that they were going to turn on Kuji's brother and kill him, but little Kuji took a gun and shot the gang leader, protecting his brother and killing a man. And then Kuji's brother stole some money or something so that the soba shop could continue going on. Meanwhile, this week's pervert that we learn about from the Otter Cops, it is a guy a soba maker who stole bathwater, and he wanted to make soba out of some girl's bathwater.
Man.
I don't know, man.
Times are changing, Rem.
I don't know. But they turn into Kappa kids, they do the choreograph dance, they get up its ass, then we get to the Sarazanmai. I should be noted, while I'm quickly covering these things, these take up 50% of every episode, alright, to be clear. Like, I could just skip over them because they're never really different. But they take up half of every episode. This Sarazanmai is Kuji connecting and showing his tragic backstory, and the others are like, oh man. And so Kazu gets the silver dish of hope, but gives it to Kuji. And then we get a weird moment that I still don't understand. The post-credit scene of this one is Kazu just being like, I hate my brother. But like he doesn't. And I don't know why this was said, and it's really weird. Episode 5, we see that Kazu was his real mom, he's no longer with his real mom. And so it's sort of like an adopted family situation, right? But when his grandpa died, his grandpa condemned his mom or something. I don't really know. It doesn't matter. We get back to the kidnapping plan where they attack and knock out the idol's manager. Just shove him into a bathroom stall. Then Kuji goes to the idol and is like, hey, come with me. I have cucumbers. Because she loves cucumbers and was just casually, and this is true, just on like Google image search of cucumbers, as one does.
I mean, you gotta love them cucumbers, bud.
You gotta. So Kuji goes to distract Sarah and tries to keep Sarah trapped. She tries to trap her in a soba shop, but she transforms into a kappa that can squeeze under any space no matter how small and escapes. Instead of running away, she's just like, haha, gotcha. And he's like, okay, let me try again. And that happens like 8 times. Like they just do a cycle of just that again and again. Meanwhile, Kazu, pretending to be the idol, meets up with his little brother and pretends that he is the idol and does the secret phrase, right? But at that moment, the manager is free. He shows up. He's not wearing pants anymore. They took away his pants. I don't know why, but they took them away. The Enta, the friend, tries to be like, oh, this manager is crazy. What's going on here? Oh, no. And then the actual idol shows up, and it's like, oh, yeah, so that's not me at all. And the little brother is confused, and the manager rips off Kazu's wig, and Kazu's like, oh no, this is terrible. And Kazu runs away, and they run away, and they all meet at the Kappa, because wouldn't you know it, at this time, the lucky item is a sachet, which they feel the need to define. They're like, it just, it's a smelling pouch that smells nice. And the little brother had a pouch that smelled like Kazu's birth mom for some reason that we don't know yet. So all of these sachets, all these smelly pouches are flying, being taken by ghosts. They transform into Kappas, do their whole deal, right? Take it from the butt. But like this one, like this pervert, I don't know. They just wanted to find the scent of a special someone. I don't know. This one didn't make a lot of sense to me. But it goes wrong in the Sarazanmai because as they're having a flashback, right? It turns out that the desire for this sweet smelling special someone is also a desire in Kazu because he wants the smell of his mother back. And so as they're doing Sarazanmai, it gets interrupted and his butt ball rips out of him and goes back into the ghost. So the ghost wins, I guess. But we see a flashback of Kazu meeting his real mother briefly, but then being like, but I do have a family now that I actually do really care about. And they plan to like meet up or something. And as they're going to meet up, the little brother shows up and is like, why are you abandoning me? Is it because you hate me? It's a really weird scene that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Based on the previous conversations, I think that's a yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, maybe? I don't know. But he's like, oh, do you not love me? Am I the reason you're abandoning us now? And it's like, I feel like there's not enough to go on for this scene to exist. It does not feel like he's abandoning. Is he meeting with his mom permanently? He just had a conversation about how he cares about his real family, and he planned, like, a reunion, but it didn't seem to indicate that he was going to run off with his mom. It seemed to indicate he was meeting up with his mom.
Yeah.
But the little brother, he's like, hey, little brother, fuck you. And he's like an asshole about it for some reason. And he goes across the street. Then the little brother waits a moment before running across the street, getting hit by a car and getting crippled because of it. And that's why he's in a wheelchair. Meanwhile, the mom, of course, he never met with his real mom on this occasion. So she just left, I guess. And then I will say, Kazu realizes that all of this deception and lying to his little brother has been more to comfort himself rather than to comfort the little brother, which, like, yeah, it's sort of a sociopathic move there, buddy.
Yeah.
That's not how you should handle your grief at all. It's like, hey, sorry I fucked you up. Now I will fuck you up far worse to compensate. And then the post-credit scene here is Otter Cops have some disagreement about something I don't understand. All right. There we are.
Hey, Remen, don't worry. I watched the remaining 6 episodes of this series, and it only gets weirder. So you're fine.
I'm so confused.
That's okay, Rem. You can be confused. That's an okay thing to be, because after all, Rem, this is described as a lovely coming-of-age story. Really coming into yourself as a human being.
All right, so I haven't even... Let's talk about how I actually feel about Sarazanmai, shall we?
Okay, yeah, let's get right into it.
Sarazanmai, as many people could probably tell, is a bad show. It's bad.
No, what? What?
It's wildly repetitive. It's bland with how repetitive it is. And, like, I understand some people could be like, oh, well, yeah, they're doing the thing, like, to sort of capture that childlike whimsy where it's, like, in those old school... like anime where they have these long drawn out sequences to preserve budget. But it's like, it's not like it's satirizing that or anything or referencing that. It's just doing that. And so you're like, okay, with how 50% of every episode's the exact same, that seems like it would appeal to a younger audience, right? But all of the strong, prominent fetish themes and the ass blastings and the naked homoerotic scenes, those aren't child-friendly. Those are not child-friendly, so we seem to have... It doesn't seem to mash up, Shaun. Doesn't seem to work.
No.
Then, the characters, none of them are likable. Everything is wildly rushed and not built up at all. It's borderline nonsensical, terrible pacing, but I want to note one thing, Shaun.
Okay.
I think this show has really interesting themes, right? Like, it has themes of self-expression and, like, gender identity and confusion and performativity and expression, and sexuality and obviously connection, as it won't shut up about, and handling trauma. It has all of these really wildly interesting themes that combine in seemingly interesting ways, but it's a clusterfuck. Like, I think you could get a really good show out of this premise. Genuinely. I think you could get like a 9 out of 10 show out of these themes and ideas. That's not what we have here. I want to be abundantly clear.
I see.
Like, I'm like, I admire the gumption of a lot of these ideas and themes being presented. But gumption does not quality make, dear friends. It's not a good show. It's a really bad show. It's a fever dream of a show that I might recommend the first episode of to just about anybody. Because let me tell you what, if you show this to someone who has no idea what's going on, the moment they start singing, oh my god, dude, I lost my mind. It was such a moment of surreality. I borderline had an out-of-body experience at that moment. So don't watch this show. But watch the first episode of this show. That'd be my recommendation.
I'll tell you right now, Rem, I watched the whole show in one sitting to prepare for this episode.
I could hardly watch multiple episodes at a time because I needed a breather. It gave me an experience that's sort of like Sword Art Online, not in like quality or anything, but just in there's so much there that makes me just be like, who would think that this was the right decision to make? And I just needed to pause and just give myself a minute.
Let me put... I said one session, Rem, but that session took about 10 hours.
Yeah, because it just... Oh, man.
You
need breathers.
You need a break. You can't just binge this show. You gotta take breaks, man.
But I will say to all of the people who heard my request and were like, this is the answer, they were right. They were correct. So what do you know? That frog really did shit out those kids.
Not a frog, though.
I mean, it's right after they call it a frog, so I'll take it.
Well, I suppose we should get on to final questions. Because Rem, any guesses on what the Mal score for this fever dream of a show is?
I have never been less certain of a Mal score in my life.
Mm-hmm.
This is such this is such a wild show. It could be anywhere from 5.5 to 8.6. Unironically, that's how wide the range is. I don't know. I have no clue. I can't even hazard to guess.
Well, would it help if I told you that the source material for this anime is nothing? This is a completely original anime.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, I'm clueless.
Well, Rem, with a mere 44,000 ratings.
Oh my god.
One of the lowest spectrum of scores we've covered.
And yet, it's still the thing everyone thought of when I talked about frog shitting out children.
It leaves an impression, Rem. Like, I purposefully blocked it from my memory.
There's only 44,000 reviews, but all of them will remember it for the rest of their lives.
Like, Rem, you don't understand. I watched the first episode of this back in 2019, and I immediately was like, well, I'm never going to think about that ever again, because if I do, I'm gonna have more questions than answers. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a bad time for me. But damn it, our community clearly remembered. So with 44,000 ratings, Sarazanmai is sitting nice and pretty at 7.50.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? But I'd say that to literally any of the ratings. Like, every rating would be equally surprising for me.
There's a lot of 10 out of 10s and 9 out of 10s. There's a lot of 1s and 2s out of 10s. Like, this might be like an example of averaging out, it feels like. The majority of 25% of the reviews are 8 out of 10. Whereas another 25% is 7 out of 10. And then it's just like it does that statistics things where it's like an even slope on both sides for the most part, even though if it's shifted to one side of the higher spectrum.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty fucked up right now, I'll be honest.
Oh, you're fucked up. You're fucked up. You know what kind of dark place I had to be in to binge all of this at once while taking notes and trying to stay focused?
Your dimly lit body pillow fort?
How dare you bring that up when I am grieving, Rem? How dare you bring up any kind of body pillow shenanigans when you know damn well that recently we were gifted some stuff in our P.O. box for it.
Hey, don't say we. The body pillows are all you, buddy.
How fucking
I'm just
dare
here for
you.
the cotton candy.
I don't have an excuse. The excuse that I only own one now. I now own fucking 6. 2 of which
That he's willing to admit.
2 of which will never see the light of day because all of them were like blind bag misprint gifts, and 2 of the characters I will not say aloud on this program because yikes on shrikes, they should not have dockies of them. The rest were technically legal though. Like,
God, you're digging yourself into a bigger hole, Shaun.
look, I'm telling you right now, Rem, fuck you. That's what I'm telling you. So I guess the final question is, Rem, any chance you'd like to watch more of Sarazanmai with me?
No, Shaun, because I can't help but feel like I've seen it all.
You haven't. Let me put you to... You haven't, Rem.
Okay,
But you also have.
I've seen at least 50% of the rest of the show.
Oh, yeah, no, like, you've only seen... So you've only seen 75% of this 11-episode series in 5 episodes. So really, like, have you seen anything?
Yeah, who knows what that last 25% would hold.
Well, I think with that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you enjoy us giving in to the dark, dark meme culture of our podcast, then please head on over to wherever you get reviews, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. But if that is not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where you can watch myself, Remington, and Dylan play video games, albeit very poorly. But if that is still not enough, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
Well, as always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we reach the yandere waifu tier, who are butt balls. And on that list, we have Alex. Don't worry about it. Alex, Xanax, Yandere Neko, you hear? Winx Club is my favorite anime. Oh my god, I haven't thought of that in ages. Why Shaun, Walk Me Home Gently, Wait a Shell, Tyler Worley, Tsumugi is way cuter than Anya, and that's just facts. Trenton Farrell, Travis J. Humphrey, Totally God, Tony Choppa, The Susanator, The Big Bean, Tetsuo13 says anime out of context always brightens up my day. Take My Cheeks, Squirrel, Silent Secondary, Shoujo Addict who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch. Shaun, punish Rem and make him watch Excel World. Shaun, are you reading New One Punch Man? It's peak fiction. School Days and Clandid for the feels. Salty Pretzel, Sadie Bartling, Ross Palmer, Rimuru Tempest is my waifu daddy. Rhiannon Williams, Remington Merrill, probably the one lesbian patron who loves yams who really felt spoken to, Big Tony. See? But you weren't the only one, alright? Because, as we covered, lesbians love yams. But I appreciate you coming out and saying it loud and proud.
Rem, I feel like your poll wasn't very scientifically accurate because one of the answers was a meme answer. And
I don't even think... Have I spoken about my poll on the podcast
I haven't
yet?
spoken about your poll on the podcast yet, no.
Well, I did a poll. We'll talk about it next free banter.
Wow,
Oh,
way
boy,
to easily get content. Way to go, Rem.
Oh boy, an ounce of serotonin, don't mind if I do. No waifu, no laifu. Nick Harvey. New from Crumb Sluts Bakery, Banana Fish Bussy Cream.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna say it. Crumb Sluts Bakery just don't miss. Like, my god, every single time it's been getting me. Makeka 7 Hierto, Mexican Gone Freaks, Maya Sizitzi, Matthew Drum says Dylan's an angel, truth. Matthias Rodas, Matt02 Max, Lizzie Anthea, Lukey O, Logan Evans, Let Me See Dylan and Rem in Thigh Highs, Uwu, King Rich Rock, Casey Mosley, Cassidy, Jam Hands, I'm just here for Rem's insightful yet incorrect takes. It's my birthday, May 20th, so I'm now God and I'm taking over the podcast. ISIS, but only for terrorist acts committed by birds. Iron-blooded orphan slaps. I'm lonely, so I watch anime. I'm here for Rem to lose it at the final frame of Attack on Titan Season 1. I want Rem to ruin Darling in the Franxx for me. I'm exhausted, admits Misaka, as she still lies awake nights obsessively thinking about giant killer frogs shitting kids. Well, here you go. You're welcome. Hunter Davies, hot, dreamy, dark cocoa slut. Come at me, Rem. I'll make your day. No. Oh, God. Hey, guys, help me make poor decisions here. Should I buy Don Machi or Tokyo Revengers White Swords cards?
I mean, Tokyo Revengers is a better show. I'll say that.
Wasn't Don Machi the one that made my eyes bleed?
No. You're thinking of Handshakers.
I feel like Don Machi might have made my eyes bleed.
Well, Don Machi is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Oh, no, that's not the one that made my eyes bleed.
No.
All right, cool. Moving on. Glenn Michael Dolan, fuck of love, Fox and Boy. Friend of the podcast, Adam Sandler, the God Emperor of Mankind. Fern the Fern, Father Soft Hands, Farmer Weeb's Bad Pickup Line of the Week. Are you American? Because I want to restrict your rights.
Oh, God.
God, it's too real.
It's too real.
Fantide, Extreme Cobra, Elite Knight, drink milk to prevent wobbly bones. Not a conspiracy. Dickite, Mimimycin, Picachurin, Tris, Pentafluorethyl, trifluorophosphate, also known as FAP, and finally, Trans 14-Biz for Pridal Eth. Creed 13, Shy 900, Cheese Monkey, Carson MO5, Cage in the House, Brockhard for Geodudes, Blood for the Blood God, Skulls for the Skull Throne, and this is actually wildly helpful as just a warning for me. And now we move to the Boy Wizard tier. Today I'll share my magical girl cosplay selfies. Chris, you get me as an orc magical girl.
Oh, dear.
Unfortunately, not quite the last one. That would be great if it was a translation. Sneaky hint, if you added another A at the start of it, it would be the transition. Elise Howard, all these squares make a circle, all these squares make a circle, all these squares make a circle, all these squares make a circle. And AJ Honey, thank you all so much. Now we do move on to the Boy Wizard tier, where everybody is going to get their own spirit frog. So we start out with they get their own spirit frog.
Oh, as in like a frog species. I was like, I don't know what list.
Look, it was either they all get a frog or they all get a fetish, Shaun, and I decided frogs.
I appreciate that, Rem.
Warning, you're 799 episodes away. You get the True Toad. Vincent Calabrese, you get the American Bullfrog. Shuffleboard is totes a sport. You get the South American Horned Frog. Rat V's to the finish, and the one who slowly melting in the summer. You get a glass frog. Please watch Healer Girl, a cute slice of life about using music to heal people. Also, Rem is still a girl. You get a tree frog. My Afro Ate My Dog. You get the Australian Gree-Treen Frog.
Those are very good. Those are very good, by the way.
They are very good. You get a Poison Dart Frog. Mike wants an Overlord review. You get a Red-Eyed Tree Frog. Miguel Delion, you get a True Frog. I don't know if that's different than a True Toad. I guess so. One's a frog, one's a toad. I don't know. Mike wants an Overlord review. You get the Desert Rain Frog, who's another top-tier frog.
That's a great fucking frog. Like, if you have never heard what the Desert Rain Frog sounds like, go look it up. It'll change your life.
Top tier boy. Miguel Delion, you get the Goliath Frog. Maitawa says first 3 arcs of Bakemonogatari is just 3 episodes. You get the Cane Toad. Latinos eats death and anime for breakfast. You get the African Dwarf Frog. Hinata's a Ball of Sunshine. You get the Kalula. Harrison,
hey, Ram, that's not a frog. That's a coffee liqueur.
Hey, I know. I think you're just pouring some frogs into your coffee.
Well, if that's the case, they're delicious in various cocktails. Not by itself, though. It is a lot by itself.
Harrison, you get the common coquille. That might just be French for frog, for all I know. Go ahead, call the cops. It won't unsniff my schnuts.
What?
You get, I don't know. Don't worry about it. You get Neo Batrachia. Dylan, when are you taking over? You get tomato frogs. Demon Ray 13, you get the Mission Golden Eye Tree Frog. Beethoven 1201, you get the African Clawed Frog. Aaron Heglin, you get the Fire-Bellied Toad. 2-Sec Shaun, I have to show you my Rule 34 review. It is my favorite of my many folders. You get the Banded Bullfrog. There you go. Now we move on to our Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun will serenade us. We'll give an otter fact to everybody. And and
I was
that will
about to say, I
describe.
ain't singing shit. It's not happening.
No, yeah, he will give an artifact to everyone that represents how you personally would be as a cop.
What?
How you would be as an otter cop. I don't know, man. My mind's pretty fucked up right now, if I'm being honest. You're lucky that I was giving out frogs. And he'll do it, of course, in a Joey Wheeler voice. So, we start out with the redneck weeb returns thanks to moonshine and jiggle physics.
Alright. Did you know they aren't all sea otters? There's more than one kind.
What the fuck kind of fact is that? All right, so
Yeah,
you would be a disappointing cop, just like that disappointing fact.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I like there are more like explanations.
We should have
behind
fun
this
facts, Shaun.
Well, I mean, I can only expect so much from treehugger.com.
Go to a different website then.
Okay, I'll go 50 irresistible artifacts on facts.net. Let's see.
Next up, we get Shaun. We should watch Hellsinger Bridge next week.
Depending on the species, otters can live up to about 16 years.
So, as an otter cop, you'll be an otter cop forever, or at least for longer than you would think. Powered by money and daddy issues.
Around 90% of sea otters specifically live near the Alaskan coast.
Nice and simple. As an otter cop, you are an otter cop in Alaska. Some are more straightforward than others. Magic ice ball.
Otter dung has a distinct odor and its own special name, which is Spraint.
You're gonna be a special otter cop, but also a shitty otter cop.
I
spent too much time playing Overwatch. Please help.
Yeah, alright, here we go. The name otter originates from the Old English word otor or otter, derived from the same root word as the word water. There you go.
You're gonna drown as an otter cop.
What the fuck?
Next up, we got Dylan Army General. Glory to the editor. Hashtag Dylan is waifu. Hashtag communism for books. I can type a lot. Damn.
Sea otters sleep together in groups, called rafts.
You are gonna have an entire squadron of sea otters, sea otter cops with you. Next up, we got my dear old mom.
Fun fact, otters can snuggle.
As an otter cop, you can be a very friendly otter cop. Charles C. Nussbaum.
Baby otters can float, but they can't swim. Careful, Rem.
Sorry, as an otter cop, you're gonna drown too. Next up, we got Blood Cell, not the white one.
Some otters mate for life.
You as an otter cop, you're gonna have a partner in crime that you're gonna have the whole way through, at least until one of you fucks die. Next up, we got Anime Girl.
First of all, what the fuck? Second of all, apparently, otters can kidnap pups for ransom.
You are gonna be one crooked fucking cop. You're gonna be a crooked otter cop. It's real corrupt up in this bitch. And last but not least, going above and beyond, we got none other than Dylan Hayden.
Fuck me, dude. Otters can help humans in fishing.
As an otter cop, you're not an otter, you're actually a fish, working undercover. And there we go. Thank you, everyone. If you want to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or send an email over onto anime@acontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
You're a little creep. You're a little creepy kid, and I don't support you. The advertisement on this quiz is "Am I gay? Quiztest.me." It's like you watched a gay anime and you're looking up quizzes. Are you wondering? Are you like, what did Banana Fish do for you? Just why does the giant pervert ghost still have its desires up its asshole?
They're butt balls. That's what they are.
All right, the great butt ball of desire. The ghostly pervert ruptures. They squirt out of their asshole a ton. His butt ball rips out of him and goes back into the ghost. Jesus Christ. It's too many body pillows, dude.